Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is another video on the Nissan Largo Japanese import. So if you remember watching the last one, we went to mask up the wheels and realised we ran out of masking tape. So I ran around a bit today trying to get some, which was a bit hard on a bank holiday. But in the end I had to get some from B&Q, which is like painters and decorators stuff. But it's a bit thin, but that'll do the job for these. I don't think I'll mask the car up with it, but I think I'll do alright with the wheels. Okay, so I'll spin you around because I've already masked them up, and I'll show you where we are. So as you can see, they're looking good. All masked up, all wiped down. Masked on both sides. Tyres are all masked off. So they're looking pretty good. Not much good if it's coming up like that, but as I say, this stuff is just decorated stuff, but that's all I could get my hands on, so that's what I had to use basically. But they're looking pretty good. So the next step is going to be, I'll give them a quick blow down with the airline, and then I'm going to wax some primer on them. I'm actually going to prime these with a tin. It's good stuff, but if I do it with a tin, I can leave it for half an hour with my heaters and stuff on, and I'll be able to paint straight over that. Whereas if I use primer through the gun, I'd have to leave it 24 hours before I can paint. So that's what I'll be doing. Okay, so I'll get you in the stand, we'll get some primer on, and let's start getting these wheels looking like brand new. Okay, so I'm all suited up now. Got my mask on, which I'll connect to the airline so I don't breathe in any of this stuff. So I'll be using just a Halford Etch primer, which is this, which is backwards on there because I've never done that before, so I'll show you on the other side of the camera in a bit. This just stops any of the bare metals reacting and stuff like that. So right, I'll put this down, connect the hoses, and let's get these primed up. Okay, so I've done the others off camera because you saw me do a couple, you saw me do one, and then you saw me do one in time lapse. So I've done both sides, front and back, in primer. We'll give them a couple of coats before I bring you back again, and then we'll be putting the black on and the silver metal flake. They're looking pretty good. So I'll bring you back in a bit once I've got a couple more coats on and they're dry and they're ready for the next stage. Okay, right, so this is what's keeping me going today. Got the raspberry, really nice drink, plant-based, does the job, gives me the energy I need. Right, I'm about to have a coffee and I'll come back to you soon. Okay, so it's been a fair while now. I've got to the third coat on the wheels now. The base coat. Starting to look okay. Look a bit strange in the camera actually, but they need a couple more coats still. Done the backs as well. And then we got to this one, and well, you're about to see, decided to react along the spokes with some of the old paint that was left on there. So this one's gonna have to be done again, which is a shame, but there's not much I can do about it. So we might just have a go at peeling this off right now actually. I'll grab a spreader. Sometimes while it's still wet, you can actually peel along it. So let's have a go, shall we? Because they know you like that anyway. It's fairly tough, but it is peeling. Just helps me a little bit. For when I've actually got to stand the wheel, I'll put you in the stand because I'm having trouble trying to hold it and do it at the same time. Basically just trying to peel the paint where it's gone wrong. Which is a real pain, but I have to make sure I bare metal these spokes now. You can see whatever it is under there has done it, but that's probably a cheap job that wasn't done properly. Try again on this one. Yep, so I can lift it, that's the thing. It's nothing to do with the primer not being dry because I left it over an hour with the heater on. That's going to help slightly, but a lot of the rest of them have actually gone off now. That's the trouble. Which just proves that the paint is dry underneath. Nothing to do with that. And I'm on I ain't going to peel no more by the looks of it. Might get a bit here. Either way, this wheel's not getting done. Not tonight anyway. What I might do is carry on with the other ones. Strange how it's only done on the spokes, but that's obviously someone else's repair at some point. I've also been doing the little centre caps. Take no notice of the bit in the middle, because that's the old badges which are coming out and being replaced with new ones. They've only had one coat, so they need a fair few more coats, probably 3 or 4 coats on them. So we were getting there. I mean, the first one, if you look around into the spokes and stuff, you just need to get a bit more paint in them. A few more coats in there, and that will start to look like it's meant to. So I think I'll just carry on and do these 3 in the caps, and we'll have to do a repair and finish off the other one in the background, or do another stuff. So I'll bring you back once I get a few more coats on these. I'll bring you in for one of the coats when we get towards the end, and then hopefully we can get some lacquer on. And because I had 2 on one side and only 1 on the other side, as soon as I lifted it up to turn it over, it flipped over onto the floor. And guess what? Face down on the floor, they're going to be scratched. Not good. Tempted to give up tonight. It's not looking good. Wonder what this one's like on the back. I do believe we're lucky. We just caught the edge of it here. No, we caught the edge of it here as well. And here. No, it's gonna have to flatten the back slightly. And this one should be okay. Well, all goes wrong at the same time. Not good, but right. Let's try and sort this out. I need to put a wheel on the stand so the weight balance is still there. Bad design really, isn't it? But here we go. Right, so I'll sort this out and work out whether I'll still be able to spray these wheels or not. Another thing not going right is that masking tape. This cheap stuff has just fallen off. Actually a waste of time. It's blowing all up around the wheels. So I do not recommend using that whatsoever. So that's my 3 things. They fell over in the stand. I've got the reaction on the wheel, and I've got the masking tape all lifted up. So we're doing well. But we'll give these another coat in a minute, and hopefully I'll be able to just tidy up what happened. I'm going to give them a quick scotch down, smooth them off again where they just caught the floor and stuff, and hopefully we'll be back at business and be able to carry on. Okay, so it's been about an hour now. I've sanded this wheel back down on all the spokes, and underneath the matte black that originally came on the wheels I found like a cellulose soft primer that hadn't cured off properly, hence why we had the reaction. So as you can see, I've bared that down to a good layer now. Shouldn't have any troubles here now, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. So I'll get some primer on this. Hopefully we'll get no reactions and we'll be able to carry on with these wheels. The rest are looking okay. When the stand fell over, I didn't catch them too much by the looks of things. Can't see no damage. So we're looking good. There's a little bit of scratching on the edge of this one. You can probably see there. But I'll smooth that in before we do the next coat. So we're looking good. So I'll get some primer on this wheel, bring you back in a little while, let you know what's happening, and hopefully we'll get back onto the black and the lacquer on these wheels. So we've flicked a bit of primer on the wheel, so we'll give it half an hour or so now, see what sort of reaction we get after that. Reaction is probably the wrong word. Not funny really, but it's part of the job, nothing you can do about it. I've had people in the past say, why don't I cut things out like this when I have problems and things like that. But on this channel I like to be as upfront and honest as I can, and it doesn't matter how good you are at your job, sometimes things like this happen. I've had a few things happen like this in the last few weeks, and then I'll go months where everything goes perfectly alright. It's just part of the job. But I like to be honest on the channel, show people that this can happen, and that's how it goes sometimes. So hopefully I'll bring you back in a little while. The primer will have sealed on that wheel, and hopefully we can get back to the black. So I'll speak to you soon. Okay, so as you see in the video just there before, these got another coat on them again now. They're looking good. I think I'll do the front and back once more and then they're probably ready for lacquer. Same with this one. Just make sure I've got all the spokes and stuff. I'm going to try and put a bit of black on this one now and just see if it will start to cover. Then that will need a few coats to catch up the other wheels. And we'll go from there. Cylinder caps must be starting to do okay now. Strange how they look a funny sort of off-whitey glare on them in here. I think it's just where the lights reflect. They're actually quite black. It's hard to show you. You'll be able to see a lot better once I get some lacquer on that on them. Okay, so I'll bring you back once I've put some black on this wheel. And hopefully we'll be able to start lacquering these and making them shine like a mirror. That's the plan, and we can get them on the vehicle. Right, so it's been a lot of hours now since I've been on camera. But I managed to get this one in primer again. And I've got some black on. It's starting to look good now. No reactions. They're all black now. They've all had, hate to think now, probably 8 coats. Because of the hassle I had. Starting to think there's something wrong with the new paints that I've been buying. Because I've had hassle with the silver and the black. Both come from the same place, the new place I was trying out. So I'm going to be speaking to them, finding out what's going on, because the paint seems quite runny. It's a bit like water, whereas my other paints are normally quite thick, so I reckon they've been thinned down, and that's why they're a little bit cheaper. But cheaper's not always good, and I think I've learned my lesson there. So I'm going to go back to what I used to use, or maybe even go a bit higher than what I used to use. But anyway, we're getting somewhere now. These wheels will hopefully be painted before I go home. This bloody masking tape's absolutely useless. Just hoping that will last out for this job, but we shall see. It's getting light outside now, so it's been a long day and a long night, but I'm determined to get these done. So I'm going to heat these up, cool them down, and I'm going to look at some lacquer. Well, I'm not going to look at it, I'm going to start putting it on. I'll bring you in when I do that. And let's make these a mirror finish. Eventually. It's been a long day, long night, as I just said. But we're going to get there before I go home. Okay, so all the black's done. So I brought you in on the 3rd coat of lacquer now. This is the last wheel, I've done the other 3. I'm going to put 2 more coats on and I think we're there. We've got a mirror shine already, but I want a couple more extra coats just for when it hardens up and dries off, because that will shrink back slightly, and then that should look really good. So as you can probably see, I'm a bit knackered, but we're getting there now with the wheels. I'm going to put one more coat on, and that's going to be a seriously nice mirror finish shine. Exactly what we need. It took a long day and it took a long night, a lot of corrections, had some fun on the way, had some disasters, but we got there in the end, and that's the main thing. That's all that matters when you're doing something like this. If something goes wrong, and you just need to know how to fix it, get it sorted and get it finished. So I'll get one more coat on these, bring you in to show you the finished thing, and then I think we're done. So we got there in the end. I did get a few runs on a couple of the wheels because of how many coats I had to put on, but we got there and they can be sanded out once they're dry. I think what I might do is just sand them back one more time, just slightly, and recoat them, and they should be perfect.